Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video talking about sex after a spinal cord injury. This has been a topic that's been on my mind and something I've wanted to talk about because this is a question I'm sure a lot of people have. I know the majority of people who watch my videos are not paralyzed, and if I was in your guys' shoes, that would be one of the first questions I would have. Can someone who is paralyzed still have sex? The best answer I can give you for that is for the most part yes, but it depends on where your level of injury is and how much damage was done to your spinal cord. If you haven't watched my previous video of me talking about what a quadriplegic is, I will leave a link to it in the description below at the end of this video. I talked about the difference between an incomplete versus complete injury, as well as why all spinal cord injuries are different. So sex after a spinal cord injury is different for everyone. Some people lose all the feeling in their body below their level of injury. Others lose some feeling, and some can feel still pretty much everything. I am very lucky because I am in the small percentage of people with spinal cord injuries who still have good feeling in their body. When I broke my neck, I pretty much bent my spinal cord. It was not cut or severed, so I can still get some signals throughout my body. The best way I can describe it, or how my doctor described my spinal cord to me when I got injured, is if you take a straw and you bend it to where there's a kink in it, that's kind of how my spinal cord is. So can I still have sex? The answer to that is yes. Can I still get an erection? The answer to that is yes, I can. Those are two of the many things I'm grateful for after suffering a spinal cord injury, as well as having good feeling in my body. The only problem for me, and I've heard with other spinal cord injuries, is I have trouble keeping an erection. Luckily, there are many other options out there, such as rings, as well as pills such as Viagra or Cialis, which I'm sure many of you have heard about, both of which I have experimented with and noticed they helped. It is definitely different, but it's absolutely still possible to enjoy and have a healthy sex life after a spinal cord injury. I absolutely want to have kids one day. I know this is an awkward topic, but I think it's something that should be talked about. Unfortunately for me, and this is common in other spinal cord injuries, is that vaginal stimulation is not enough to make your body ejaculate. Thankfully, there are a couple of other ways out there. The first way is through vibratory stimulation. But before I get into any of this, there's one thing that I want to talk about, and that is autonomic dysreflexia. If you are a spinal cord injury, you know exactly what autonomic dysreflexia is, and is something to be extremely cautious about. AD is basically a huge spike in your blood pressure from overstimulation. If you are a spinal cord injury and don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably haven't experienced it, because it is not something that you will forget or want to ever experience again. When your blood pressure spikes like this, it's pretty much the worst pounding headache of your life. It feels like your head is going to explode. There are medications that you can take for this if you experience autonomic dysreflexia a lot. So now that we have that out of the way, we can move on. Going back to vibratory stimulation, there are many options out there for this method. Depending on the vibrator and the quality of them, they can get pretty pricey. I personally started off with the Magic Wand by Hitachi. This is basically just a body massager. The next step up from this would be the Vibrect X3. This vibrator is made specifically for people with spinal cord injuries. The price for this one jumps to $300. I will leave a link in the description below with all of these in them. The next option would be a vibrator called Ferticare. This is also a special vibrator made specifically for people with spinal cord injuries. I have a couple of friends who use them and they've had nothing but great success with it. But the biggest downside I see with Ferticare is the price. It costs nearly $1,000 for it, which I think is absolutely ridiculous to charge someone. But if it gets the job done, then I would say it's worth it. If vibratory stimulation doesn't work for you or your body, there's still other options. Electrostimulation, or E-stim, is something to look into. I have personally not tried this method. Electrostimulation is a newer process. People with spinal cord injuries will use a TENS unit or an EMS unit, which stands for electromuscle stimulator. You basically put these small sticky pads, connect them to the unit, and then turn it on. It will then send small doses of electricity to that area and stimulate it. You can adjust the strength or consistency of the electrostimulation from the main unit where it's plugged in. This device can be bought off Amazon for anywhere from $25 to $30. Again, I have not personally used this method, but I have heard from multiple other people with spinal cord injuries that this has worked for them. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it informational. It is definitely an awkward topic to talk about, but when I was first injured, those were one of the first couple questions that I had from my doctor. I also know if the tables were turned and I saw someone paralyzed in a wheelchair, I would wonder if they could still have sex or have children one day. Thank you everyone for all your continued support. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks.